Hello, hello, everybody. We made it halfway through the week. Hard to believe, but we have. Kind of a crazy week, which is why I like hanging out with you guys so much because we keep it all very real. So let's see who all is in here. Collie, good morning. Shannon, Georgia Peach. Hello, Uli. I see some questions in the chat already about Discord. I know I sent out one Discord link. Uli, are you already in Discord and you're having problems navigating it? Or if you want to send me an email, I'll walk you through it. But if you're already in there, then just tell me your name in there. Don't do it in here. Outlaw, good morning. Preschool Granny, good morning. How's everyone's weather, by the way? We're going to be back in the hundreds again over the weekend, coming up on 4th of July. There's our friend Erica. Hello. Cheryl. Hello. Trying to calm down from all the caffeine I've had. Alicia, how you doing, friend? Mora, hello. Mora said, hi, I might have to sign off early, but if I do, I'll come back for the replay. That's awesome. So to everybody else that listens on the replay, glad you're here. Jules, good morning. Angie Gibson, good morning. Hello, Chris. Big T. If I miss anybody, it is not on purpose. You know how it goes. Jakey, where you been? Haven't seen you in a while. Hillbilly Tech, Joanne. Sending you good karma. Well, we all need that, don't we? Magoo, Tamra, M, Sonia. What is this? Hang on, I just saw an avatar. Texaholic. What a cool avatar. Ree's Place, what's up? Hope everyone is doing good this morning. Got an interesting show. Just something to think about. Mill it over. We've gone back and forth for over a year. Dawn and Candice, the whole time, could have been telling us exactly what they did. And we've just kind of skated around it and rolled our eyes. I've got some clips to put up of them where they're describing the day. Of course, we're going to go through our normal opposite day because we have to work that in. We know they're not telling us totally the truth. But it is very interesting, especially the clips that we have picked out to put side by side. Let's see how our friend Muscles and Mascara is doing this morning. Yeah, AJ, where you been? You been on summer vacation? Good morning, Muscles.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I forgot to tell you. You and I are like twins now.
We are?
I went to the gym yesterday.
Bam. Yes, I love it.
I broke a serious sweat.
I can't believe you forgot to tell me that. That's awesome.
I'm going back today. I am.
Awesome.
Got a wedding next year. No, it's not mine. Let's not get that out there. So yeah, now I broke a sweat in the tanning bed. Okay, these are baby steps for me, but still, I'm so proud.
I am very proud. Very proud.
Because you know what they say, tan fat looks a lot better than white fat.
Yes, ma'am. And I just got back from the beach, so I'm digging my tan right now too. So
yeah, you kind of inspired me when you sent me that picture of you working on the beach, and I'm like, I can't hang with her. That was awesome, though. Good for you. How was it?
It was fantastic. We had gorgeous weather. It was hot. I mean, if I'm going to be at the beach, I want it to be hot and blazing sun and all that stuff. And it was that way every single day. So we didn't have a day of any clouds or anything. It was perfect. So
I love it. I love it. We're trying to figure out what to do over the weekend because it is going to be, 103 in the shade. So maybe go on a tasting tour because, you got to throw some food in there or something like that. Got to find some water somewhere. Definitely going to do that.
Yes, and my child is turning 14 Friday, so it's going to be a full festive, complete stay in the pool all weekend because it's going to be hot as blazes here too. So I think that's what we're probably going to do, stay in the pool the whole weekend pretty much and celebrate his birthday, then celebrate the 4th of July. So
Happy birthday to your son. Yeah,
Thank
Monday was
you.
my son's birthday. Then it turned out it was Snow's son's birthday too. And I was like, wow.
Wow. Well, happy birthday to yours as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, do you want to go through some comments with me from the last show? They fit in perfectly with this show.
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it.
Here we go. Okay, so back on the topic of Candice got gone. You know, Candice is not on Ben Hill. They say that unless the county cleaned it up, I don't know. They're saying that the grass is, up to your waist. I'm going to assume that you haven't sojourned down that street lately, Muscles.
No, ma'am, I have not. But I can imagine that it does look that way.
So we'll just take their word on it. Not trying to be a right fighter here. So Genetic Genie said, maybe she's not there because she knows who or she is the cause of the who abducting Summer. This goes right back to our conversation this morning, doesn't it?
Wow. Yes, it does. It definitely does. That's kind of scary. Wow.
And our mind was already blown this morning. Because she
Yes.
goes on to say, remember, she was guilty of having the wrong friends. Dawn said that to Brian Enton. He also slipped and said, we could have not been paying attention. All right. She goes on to say, and it goes deeper than anybody knows. Maybe she doesn't want to be where those wrong friends can find her alone. Interesting, very interesting. I see where you're going. Could it also be that she is part of the abduction and she can't keep looking at the same four walls every day knowing that someone could be coming for her? What do you think, Muscles?
I swear the more that we talk about this, the more I'm just kind of mind blown. But I think that's a very good probability. I mean, get away from the walls in which you have created your own demons out of. I totally think that that's probably got something to do with it, and or she's running from people that, maybe those wrong friends that she's made. I certainly agree with that. Certainly agree with that.
Well, and how could Candice, with the snake shit she does, ever keep good company anyway?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Our good people, me and you and the good people in this chat aren't going to be friends with Candace. We don't have that kind of mindset. We don't have that kind of mind frame. And the only people that do are truly sick individuals. So she's got to go hang out with those that are a little bit less, that are more sketchy. So it wouldn't surprise me in the least if that's the reason why she's MIA at this point.
Oh, I agree. And that's like we were talking, what's today? Wednesday on the Monday show. She's doing all this couch surfing and slowly but surely she's wearing out her welcome. Seems to me that she has found somewhere to flop, but it's got to be someone that's okay with her shit ways.
Yeah. And there's a part of me that wants to know who that person is, and then there's a part of me that doesn't want to know who that person is, because that's scary to think about, that somebody would be okay with somebody in like that live in their home, and especially if they've got children. And I think about all that too, and I'm like, gosh, it just makes me sick to think about.
Makes me sick too. I do worry about her being around other children. I believe you were on panel when she got into all the dating apps, and she was really interested, I think, in like Sunfly 2337 or something. And I said, man, I hope Sunfly doesn't have children, because we know how she treats the children that she's given birth to. Imagine how she would treat a stepchild.
Yeah, I can't even wrap my mind around that. And gosh, yeah, I can't even wrap my mind around that, or why anybody would be okay with that. I just can't. I can't.
No way. What would you do if she was selling Girl Scout cookies on your doorstep?
Oh, she would meet. She'd get to meet a side of muscles and mascara she didn't know existed. I'll just tell you that right now.
Nope. Kathy says Summer may have seen Candice and Hunter doing something they shouldn't have been doing, and Summer saw it. Very common theory. I'm adopting it more and more, because when Candice has confronted one person that we know of wanting to know what they said to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and that one person is Hunter. She didn't ask Allie. Nobody else has come out that she basically was trying to strong arm. Only him. And in this time, somebody would have said, yeah, Candice was asking me what I said to them. Only him. Why? And don't tell me she is worried about that damn tea, because something like that doesn't faze Candice.
No, I agree that she is definitely intimidated or attempted to intimidate one certain individual, and that it just, to me, that just goes into this whole theory of that you blew my mind with, and we talked about this morning. It just all of it falls into place. It all makes sense. I can't wait to get into this a little bit further to see other people's reaction, because I really think today everybody's going to be mind blown. So
I know I am.
Yeah, I am too.
Because it's in their own words. Amanda says Candice doesn't want to be there when Dawn gets home. All that stuff she said about not loving him and Grandma threw a monkey wrench in the script. We're going to get into the script more, because when they have been on different shows together, there is a script, but their theory of what happened to Summer is exact.
Yes, and that was a what the you know what moment for me, because you're so right. Like they couldn't be on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to most of the way that they conduct themselves as people or whatever, and they're both just terrible, but they do come together during that one particular story, and that is scary. That is super scary.
Yeah, it was one of the earlier shows we did about Summer, and it was after the WJHL interview. I didn't pick up on it then that they had the same theory, basically, except for that she got gone and a bad guy got her. But the devil's in the details. And I said, these two are partners in crime. And I'm going to throw Grandis in there too. Everybody can't be a suspect, and she just happened to wander off in the woods.
No, exactly. That's why I always dismiss the whole she wandered off and she got lost. I always dismiss that, because just like you said, there should be evidence of that. They should be able to clear everyone. There shouldn't be anything that law enforcement's withholding and keeping close to the vest if in fact she just wandered off. And they're not forthcoming with anything. So that alone should tell people and let the red flags fly and the lights and sirens blare, because it's obvious. I mean, what they're not saying speaks so loud.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody would really have a lot of faith in their law enforcement if they couldn't clear all these people and surmise very early on that she has just wandered off. There are sinkholes in Tennessee. I mean, a dog got stuck in one earlier in this week. It was on your local news. They had to rescue a dog out of one. There's a lot of stuff. It is a rough terrain. Not gonna lie.
Oh, absolutely, it is. Absolutely, and anybody that says it's not, I mean, they clearly don't know what they're talking about, because it is. And that just goes to show you that even more so, if you can report a dog on the news about something like this, it just goes to show you what law enforcement's not telling you, and it speaks volumes.
Yep. Ann Hennessy said, why would Don have anything to say about his daughter's reward fund staying put when he has said previously they'll never find her? He even one day, he was laughing. I think he was on Cher's channel. I can't remember now. He was laughing, chuckling to himself. He said, TBI doesn't have shit. They're not going to find her. They don't have nothing.
Yeah, and how disgusting. If you had nothing to do with any of this whatsoever, how disgusting is it for you to sit there and even come up with those kind of comments that they're never going to find her? I mean, that's pathetic. So again, that speaks volumes for me. I can't with these people. I literally cannot with these people. I just can't. I can't.
Nope. Tanya Crozier says, I'm curious to know why Hunter said Candice owed him that vape, sorry. He said it on the Chris McDonough interview. See, all these little things that it didn't jump out at us at first. He did. She owed me the vape. Why? What, did she borrow yours and take off with it? You hadn't seen her in months and months and months. Why did she owe you a vape? For what?
Yeah, why? And gosh, why would his mother not just be irate over that if it wasn't a common occurrence? I can't get over the fact that, I just told you guys my son's turning 14, and this kid was 15 at the time that this happened. If I knew that somebody was offering my child alcohol and or vape pens or whatever it is, I would be livid. Somebody would be getting thrown down on. I'm just going to tell you. And it doesn't happen. So that relationship, to me, I can't even go there with that relationship. That relationship makes me sick. And whatever it is that those two have going on, that maybe, she's able to use that against him with this whole summer thing. I'm mind blown, Brooks. I truly am. That's all I'm going to say.
I couldn't imagine. And you have those parents that are like, if you're going to drink at home, and I want you to have a rec and all this stuff. This is I don't agree with that, but it's however people want to raise their kids. I'm not in your house. I don't pay your bills. This is an inappropriate relationship between a kid and a suspect. That's the only way I can sum it up.
Absolutely. I'm just going to let you sum it up that way because I just probably need to be quiet. So.
Oh, you can add in. I know you made another pot of coffee. He is the only one that was intimidated, that she went to intimidate.
Yeah, and he's the only one that is no longer around for anybody that's, he was there to talk to Chris M, and then bam, he's gone. And you've never heard from him again. I realize that he is that he's a minor. I get it, but everybody else has stuck around and come up with some kind of BS to throw our direction. Not this one. And why? There's a reason.
Right. I totally agree. That has always been one of the most, it can't be the most, but one of the most suspicious things to me. Let's say she wandered off in the woods. She knows she's missing. She knows she's not abducted. She knows she didn't wander off, hence why she had no problem leaving her property less than 48 hours of the 911 call. What does she do? She drives over to their house, to which they call the TBI, Allie did, because, as she said, the TBI said to them, don't talk to Candice. If she had wandered off in the woods, what the hell would it matter if you talk to Candice or not?
Exactly. Every bit of this, again, everybody, I think we all probably raised our eyebrows at many different parts of this whole story at the beginning, and, all that. And we all were, really paying attention to what was being said and what wasn't being said. But there's been so much crap happen between now and then that we've forgotten some of this. So when you go back and listen to those old things and pick up on those, probably the things that maybe we did maybe heighten our eyebrows with, but didn't really dive into it because there was something else that took over. I think that's why this whole case is the way that it is it's always been, something has always been the distraction. Always. There's always been something to, when you get a bombshell statement, then you turn around and, there's a distraction of something else that's going on. And it's all by design. It's every bit of it's by design. I have no doubts. And if in fact Summer did just walk off and was lost, every bit of this would not even be part of the story. There wouldn't be a story. It'd just be that she walked off, and it's not the story.
That would be it. Especially we're coming on. I mean, this week we're coming into July. We'll be talking about 13 months soon.
Gosh, I know. And how
that's one hell of a walk in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. And how heartbreaking. 13 freaking months. Really? I mean, it is so heartbreaking. And to me, when TBI comes out, you look at Leslie Earhart's facial expressions alone. We've talked about this before. I spoke about it before on your panel. It's crazy to watch her facial expressions. You can see the hurt, the anguish that she's standing up there still talking about this. You can see it all over her face. You can see it plain as day. And I always just, I think I could mute a press conference that she does and know what she was and feel like I know what she was talking about just by watching her facial expressions.
Oh
It's
my
all
God.
over her.
I know what you mean, because the face can't lie. I mean,
No.
there's some people that are, stone faced. I guess they call it the poker face.
Yeah.
Hence
Yeah.
why I can't win at cards. Forget it.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, her expressions are written right across it.
Yes, very much so. I'm the same way. I have the WTF look all the time. So,
So the afternoon of June 15th, everything that Summer did is polar opposite day of what both Dawn and Candice have characterized as their daughter's normal actions. When they get home from all the running around, the horse pond, the Walgreens, dropping Hunter off, hippie house, I mean, all that, fiddle fucking around. She gets home and suddenly she doesn't want to play on her swing anymore. She's not out in the yard twirling. The story when they get home is that for some reason, she's all up in her mom and grandma's business wanting to help plant flowers. She's not over twirling on her swing, playing with toys. She wants to be with them. Okay, I don't see that would be a very fun thing for a 5-year-old little girl to plant cactus with those two crows.
no. And that always was, to sit and think about it, that's always something that I guess that we all maybe have wondered about. I don't know. Maybe it was just something that skated by. But if she, in fact, loved that swing as much as she did, and as much as they've tried to tell us about it, she didn't go do that day at all. So why? It's just weird that was left out of their quote unquote script because
Right.
it was such an important thing that they told us about.
Because on WJHL, she was the boss of the brothers. Okay, remember this before we get into this, guys. She was the boss of, now, of course, they said was. She was the boss of the brothers. She loved to be outside. She would rather be outside than anywhere. But on the afternoon of June 15th, she wasn't the boss of the brothers. She wanted to go inside with them where they were supposedly watching TV. And even though she's the boss of the brothers, she told them that she was going to go downstairs by herself to the dungeon, as opposed to being outside playing on a nice day, to play in the dungeon alone. The boss of the brothers wouldn't ask for any permission. A child that loves the outdoors wouldn't want to go into a moldy, mildew dungeon to play with one little tub of toys that looked like they came out of Happy Meals.
No, not at all. And supposedly, if you want to believe what Candace said about her planting the flowers into Chris McDonough, was she placed her Paw Patrol toys in the pots that they were planting. So her favorite toys were located outside anyway. So why would she go inside and play with things that A, I don't even know ever existed down there, but B, like you said, go to the dungeon to play? It doesn't even make sense. It makes no sense.
Bullseye.
And then she also says, well, she sat right here and played with her toys when she first went into the house. She was sitting right here because then she jumped up after Candace says, you want to plant flowers, and she left her toys laying in the kitchen floor. But then she needed to go downstairs too to play with her toys. We saw the toys that she owned. Sell me a different story because that one's not working. Sorry.
No, it's not working. So on June 15th, suddenly she doesn't want to play outside, twirl, be on the swing, whatever. She wants to go watch TV with her brothers. All right. So this is like, so we're playing opposite day. I think she did go to the dungeon, but not willingly. Because I'm going to give Candice and Dawn the benefit of the doubt today. Not the abduction theory, but we're going to play along that they're telling us what they did, what they set up, or what they know. You ready?
Yes, ma'am, I am, I think.
I don't know. All right, so this is when they were on Dr. Phil, and of course everybody was the cornbread mafia, the cornbread mafia. I think the whole cornbread mafia was to throw a wrench at Candice and see if she would bite.
Definitely.
So we're going to forget about that. All right, here we go. I got to grab my other piece of paper. Running out of scratch pad.
Okay, well, let me ask you, Candice, if I understand correctly what you've said. You took Summer in the front door.
Yes.
And you said to the three boys, keep an eye on Summer.
Yes.
Okay, real quick. I know I'm already stopping it. So this is her breaking it down to Dr. Phil what happened that day with Dawn sitting right next to her. So we know her reflection of events makes no sense, but part of it does. So we know that Sleeping Beauty was in the camper and she awoken to plant these magnificent cactus. And supposedly America's Best drywaller was still hard at work. He seems to have a lot of knowledge about some shit he wasn't there to see. Again.
Yes, without a doubt. He knows too many of the details for him to supposedly been at work. Agreed.
And you said to the three boys, keep an eye on Summer.
Yes.
Okay. Then you did what?
Then I went back outside to my mom's camper, which was right next to the house. And I had to fix her knee brace for her.
Okay. She had a knee brace on?
Yeah.
And that took?
Only 2 minutes.
Okay, back to 2 minutes. Back outside to fix the knee brace. She tells the brothers to watch Summer, even though she has said over and over, Summer is the boss of the boys. She gave them a run for their money. She was all, she hit them with sticks and everything like that. But she tells the boys to watch Summer?
Yeah. Gosh, look at her face. Talk about stone cold face. She's got one. This story she's ran through her head. She probably didn't sleep the night before running this narrative through her head all night long. So yeah, I don't buy that she told the boys to watch Summer. Not at all. Not at all.
Nope. And this is a look of intimidation. She's staring right at him like he's gonna call my number, isn't he?
Absolutely. And the fact that she says she walked her over to the house, we all know that's a bunch of crock of shit. Sorry for the language, but nonetheless, that's a crock, and we all know it.
Walked her over, or she grabbed her by the arm and took her down in the dungeon because of something that happened outside.
Oh, yeah. There's more of the plausible theory.
Summer
in my opinion.
That dungeon willingly.
Yep. You nailed it.
Okay. And then what'd you do?
I went back in my house.
When you went back in, what'd you see?
The three boys sitting there watching TV.
Okay. And no Summer?
No Summer.
Okay. What'd you do then?
No Summer. Okay, now listen. She's retelling the story of the afternoon, the events, I shouldn't say story, the events of the afternoon that her daughter went missing. No Summer. It's final. No Summer. Not, I started looking around for her. No Summer.
Yeah, or I walked in and she wasn't sitting there with the boys where I'd left her, where I told them to keep a check on her, if you want to believe that part of the story. None of that. Absolutely none of it.
I asked the boys where she was at. And they told me that she went downstairs to play with her toys.
Okay. Would she do that? Would she say, hey, I'm going downstairs to play with my toys, or would she just go?
You know, she'd tell the boys.
Right there, he caught her in a lie. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because earlier in the show, I'm not playing the whole show, when he was asking all about Summer, tell us all about Summer, and we heard loves the outdoors, loves her swing. We heard the twirling again, and she's the boss of the brothers. He asked her right there, is that something she would do? Basically check in with her brothers. Hey, I'm going to the dungeon. Hey, I'm going to get something to eat. Mind you, she's 5, but she's also the boss of the brothers. He asked her right there, oh, absolutely, that's something she would do, even though she had just said she's the boss of the boys. Hitting them with sticks and everything.
Yes, that you nailed it. You're exactly right. She's totally contradicted herself just then. From just then.
Yep.
I'm sick. Ugh. You wigged me out today, Brooks. You've wigged me out.
What'd you do then?
Well, I hollered for her at first.
And no response.
No response.
So what'd you do?
So I went directly down there.
So I went directly down there. Why? Why? The boys are watching TV. We already know that Summer does not check in with her brothers. They're not the boss of her. She's the boss of them, according to both Dawn and Candice. She was it. But I ran directly down there.
Yeah, and let's just call it people that are true parents and true mothers. If you have left your child for 2 minutes, that's 5 years old, capable of entertaining themselves, capable of doing things on their own. Yes, indeed, they are still 5, but you let them become independent at some point. And if they're in a safe location, which we can debate about where it's safe or not there, but nonetheless, if that's her safe place to where she felt like she could go down there and she could play with her toys and be safe, then why would you feel the need to panic in 2 minutes? Per your own words, it was 2 minutes. I've never freaked out in 2 minutes when I know my child's in a safe location doing what I know they're in there doing because they're safe. So why is she freaking out in 2 minutes?
She wouldn't.
Exactly.
It takes us longer than 2 minutes to shower, take a bath, change our clothes, make a cup of coffee. It takes us longer than 2 minutes to brush our teeth.
It takes her 2 minutes to walk from grandma's camper to their house. Let's be honest. She doesn't get in a hurry for anything. You can tell by looking at her.
Mm-hmm. All right, so right here, she's getting a little puzzled. She's really starting to shit her britches a little bit because he's already tripped her up and she's too stupid to know. Is that something she would do? She would tell her brothers where she's going. He didn't say ask. She would tell her brothers. Yeah, that's something she would do. Oh, really? Because this is a very important part of her story, that the boys are aware that she went down there by herself willingly. Nobody took her down there. Nobody forced her down those stairs. Nobody did. She told them she was going down there willingly.
I looked for everywhere I could look in the room.
I looked everywhere I could look. Now, mind you, but she's only focused on one area of the house, not outside. Mind you, there are 3 boys. They're watching TV. Summer could have ran back outside without them even knowing. She could have ran past Candice without her even knowing. She doesn't pay attention, but she's focused on that room.
The blankets, whatever. And she was gone.
And she was gone. She was gone. All right, so unless you go back up the stairs, we'll get to this in a second. The only way to get out after you move the couch away from in front of the door is through the basement door. She doesn't ever tell us the position of the door. Was it open? I mean, if it was wide open, then we got a problem. If a teenager's sneaking out of the house, they're going to slowly, quietly close the door so nobody thinks anything. They're just going to think they're in bed sleeping, right? Well, Summer's not a teenager. Kids are going to leave the door wide open, especially in that house.
Absolutely. I mean, the front door was standing wide open when we saw it to begin with. So, of course it was.
Of course.
All right. What's the way to get out of there besides coming back upstairs?
Just the basement door.
That back door?
Yeah.
Okay. And
She doesn't even bring up the possibility that Summer could have come back upstairs and been outside somewhere. Just the basement door is the only way she could have gotten out. She's telling us something.
Absolutely.
We're gonna
Absolutely.
take her at her word today. We're gonna take her at her word today and just figure this out. What are you thinking, Muscles?
I think you're nailing it, Brooks. I'm just here as your cheerleader because I'm telling you, just we've watched how long of this? Like no 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and it's insane to listen to this again. Because I'll be honest, I refuse to go back and watch this. I have not seen this since it aired. I watched it a couple times. I'll take that back, but I have not been back to it in some time. And buddy, is it telling?
And let's also not forget what she said to Chris McDonough. She said, "No one in, no one out." But that day, again, June 15th, everything is different. Summer no longer wants to play outside. Summer no longer is the boss of her brothers. Summer is actually checking in with her 3 older brothers to tell them that she prefers to play in the moldy dungeon on June 15th rather than be outside or watch TV with them.
Exactly.
And she's intimidated. Look at those eyes.
Oh, she definitely is. Definitely.
Crystal says, where can I watch the whole Dr. Phil episode? It's actually on, I don't know if Dr. Phil still has it up, but it's on our channel. But you'd have to go back through all the videos back to, what was it, early November, late October? And it's got Dr. Phil in all the titles.
And if that door opens, could the boys hear it?
No, if they had the TV up loud.
Okay. All right.
How would she know that?
She has an excuse for everything that drives me insane. That those are red flags.
Uh-huh.
You don't know that. You were outside with Grandma planting flowers and fixing her knee brace. You don't know how loud the TV was. You weren't even in there.
She doesn't know what they could hear or not, but she does know that Summer checked in with them to say she was going down there willingly and alone. Not that Candice took her down there.
Is she known to go out that back door?
She'll go out the back door, but then she'll circle around by her swing.
Okay. Back around to the front?
Yeah.
What we're seeing here is looking out that back door, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of eerie because he's got the camera panned where you see what Summer sees or anyone when they open that door to go outside. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there's a huge possibility that she could have been in trouble, scared, because I don't want to upset anybody. So trigger warning. Candice has a history of being an abusive mother. She is. She lost 2 kids in the state of Wisconsin. 3 boys are in the state care of Tennessee. She is known to be, she's an abusive mother. We don't know what happened that afternoon. It would make sense that she opened up that door scared and went running off into the woods. But now we're almost 13 months later. So look at all those woods. This is her vantage point. This is her opening the door to get out. But see that
kind of gives.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just looking at that right there, it just makes me sick. I mean, it really, and it makes me sick because it's just, look, I'm from here, and I know when I was a young child, I went exploring and I did all those things. Got into normal children, mischievous things that we all do as we learn and grow up. But when I see this particular vantage point, it makes me sick. Like I literally get sick to my stomach
Mm-hmm.
because, first of all, when you're a child and you're out exploring and going through the woods and that kind of thing, you're not going to go, or at least I didn't, you're not going to go in the thickest part of the woods where there's absolutely no pathways for you to start venturing down. You're going to choose somewhere to go and somewhere where you're familiar with. Now, are you going to branch out and go elsewhere after that? Most likely, yes. But just from this vantage point right here, it is so thick through there. There is no cut throughs or anything like that we've seen. And we've seen some pretty up close and personal videos of that. So there is none of that. I'm sorry, but a 5-year-old's not just going to venture down through there past this, whatever the heck this thing was sitting in the back here. She's not going to do that. So why are they trying to feed us this story? And Brooks, you've nailed it. You freaking have it. I'm telling you.
Well, they screwed themselves on the abduction theory because if you listen really carefully to this, and then another video I'm going to play in a second, it's almost like they're telling on themselves. They screwed themselves on that. You're looking at this right here, and if you didn't know Dawn, didn't know Candice, didn't know Grandis, you weren't almost 13 months in, you would say, well, it's a good possibility that she was in trouble in timeout. Not that Candice would use timeout, that she ran off. That she ran off. She just ran out there.
Yeah.
But they would never consider that she walked off. It was always abduction. They were 99, not even, they were 1,000,000% sure that she was nowhere around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, that is so key in this. Again, I feel like that we went from she was taken, and now they've even twisted their story as to, well, maybe she did wander off. No, she didn't. I'm sorry.
They would never consider it. Casey, thank you. Cassie, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you.
Well, and to even throw that into more perspective is how many times have we heard she would never step foot off this yard? She would never step foot off this yard. They beat that into our head because they didn't want us to think there was a possibility she did wander off. So obviously, the first thing law enforcement's going to do when you say my child went missing in 2 minutes is they're going to start scavenging the freaking land. I mean, duh, that's what anybody's going to do. So they had to spin the narrative to say, there's no way she got away in 2 minutes and she's wandered off from here. There's no way. Well, there's a reason why they're doing that. The reason's not because she wandered off and they know she wandered off, and it's not because she was abducted. There's a whole other reason for every bit of that. And in 2 minutes, it's not because somebody came up there and was laying in the woods and snatched her and got her down to the road in 2 minutes. Sorry, but y'all can take that bullshit and stick it, because that's not what happened here. I'm sorry. If it was, we would know more than what we know right now with law enforcement, and we don't.
Oh, exactly. And in that 2 minutes, it could have been when, this is just a conversation, guys. I wasn't there. It could have been when punishment went too far and we had to get her down in the dungeon. We had to get her away. Maybe a mark was left on her. There was an injury that we could not cover up. People have said, well, if it was an accident and they didn't want to take her, but they would take her for an accident. She's been to the doctor before. She's been to the dentist. There was anything like that going on. I go back to Letitia Staunch the night before she murdered Gannon. Child abuse went way too far, which it always does. I'm not saying there's levels of child abuse. She drove around with him all day the next day, and she knew she had to get rid of him. Something happened. All right, I'm skipping.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right, so you look at this vantage point. The first thing you're going to think, whether it's this yard or really any yard, but especially in rural America, they got to be around here somewhere. But from the get-go, it's been abduction. They screwed themselves on the abduction theory because they told on themselves.
Definitely. Without a doubt.
All right, now there's a road there Is that
Driveway.
a driveway?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, can that be seen from your mother's camper?
No.
That's the back side of the house.
Okay, so this is important.
Mm.
Doesn't sound like it, but he says, can this be seen from your mother's camper? She immediately says no. Because now you can't see the door from her mother's camper.
Not the door. Not the door, you can't. But
Not
he's talking about the driveway. And if you're standing in that driveway, yes, ma'am, it is seen.
so she's
Go back to Chris's interview when he walks around that house and he's walking on that, whatever you want to call it, driveway, if that's what you want to say what it is. And you can see, I mean, obviously it takes you have to go around that little bitty corner of the house. So there might be a few yards there that maybe no, but you can't see the door, but you can see that driveway. And he asked you about the driveway, not the door.
exactly. But she says no because she's got to make
Yeah.
sure to tell everybody she didn't see anything.
Yes.
It sounds
Yeah.
like I'm really picking and I'm being minor, but it's really important that she says Summer told her brother she was going down there by herself willingly to play with her toys because on that day she didn't want to be out more. She was no longer the boss of the boys. But then right there, no, she can't see anything. Candice can't, especially in 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
She can't see that
that's-
from her camper.
Not that part, no.
If you step out on the road there, you can about see your camper.
And that drive there goes up to the highway?
It circles around the house right there. It goes to the,
All right, here's my pointer right here. Here's the door.
Yep.
There's the camper. So Candice
Yep.
is saying that she was up in here somewhere. Okay, whatever. She's not there now. But she's down in the dungeon. She's flipping over blankets. She's flipping over all kinds of things. If you look carefully, we thought this was done. And I lost my train of thought. Hang on. Well, there's the mattress right there.
Yes.
I'll still never understand that damn mattress being propped
I mean,
up.
either.
But anyway, so she makes sure to say no, she can't see anything. So like there's the camper. So she comes out here is what she's saying. Her and Dawn have the exact same theory. And Dawn makes sure to double down with her. Listen, this is when Dawn starts explaining as well that Candice couldn't have seen anything.
Side of the house. You can't see that from her camper.
Not that part, no.
if you step out on the road there, you can about see your camper.
And that drive there goes up to the highway?
It circles around the house right there. It goes to the top and then it goes down around to it. It circles all the way around the house.
Okay. Is that the back door?
That's the back door.
That's the door to her room.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, he's getting a little nervous. Yes. That's the door to her room. Yes. Yes.
God. And you call it a room, you psychopath. God. Ugh. But yes, he's getting very unnerved. You can tell by the look in his eyes too. Just what's he gonna ask me next? You know, you can see it written all over his face.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If she came out that back door and there was somebody there, could they have grabbed her right there?
Yes.
Yeah.
They both at the same time, yes.
Yes, in unison. Unison.
Well, she said yeah, and he said yes, because she's a classy gal. At the same time, he wasn't even done with his question. He
No.
wasn't even done. He hadn't even got a chance to finish and pause. They both, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and isn't it fitting that Meteor manager Tim was there with them? And it certainly feels like this is very scripted and rehearsed, doesn't it? It's just amazing how that works. Just amazing.
Scripted and rehearsed, or they have the exact same theory that never changes.
Yes, scripted and rehearsed, and meaning their theory is the exact same because they've done nothing but read that script and rehearse it with each other over and over and over and over again, and especially before going on national television. I can promise you that.
There you go. unless this is exactly what they did. They can't speak
Yep.
for a random stranger. They can't speak for someone coming up the dog trail and then bringing her back down to a car. They're way too certain this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, they both say, she says yeah, he says yes.
Then how would they make their escape? Back this direction,
Well,
away from the camper?
the dogs led, the scent went straight down that dog trail by that yellow generator, right from where that picture's taken.
You're saying then that this is the back door?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Don's back on the dog trail. He's saying, okay, so they grab her. She comes out the basement door. All right, this is a lot of happenings. This is a lot of, a lot of craziness going on, okay? This is like stars colliding. She comes out the basement door after she wants to play in the dungeon by herself. Instead of going back up the stairs, going outside, if she wants to play again, she goes out the basement door. There happens to be someone standing there, which very well could have been her mother, to take her down that dog trail with someone.
Well, and see, I have a question. Like, I still go back to this whole dog trail thing, and we can do that after we go. I don't want to, interrupt this with that thought process, but the dog trail thing, see, I never got that it was the dog trail that they went down and got the scent of, because I was always under the impression that it came back to the driveway, and then when it transitioned from the driveway to the road is when they lost the scent.
That's what Lawson was trying to explain to him, but now Don is saying that can't be because the dogs lost their scent at the end of the dog trail. He also makes sure to let everyone know without being asked. He never knew it was there, even though we have seen video of the boys on their dirt bikes going up and down that dog trail.
Yeah, exactly. He says that he didn't even know the dog trail existed, but that's what he's hanging his hat on, is the dog trail and descent, but he didn't know it existed, yet that's where they rode their dirt bikes. It makes no freaking sense. I mean, he's contradicted everything he said in that one statement all over the place. So your story's continuing to change, because I'm going to go off of what Lawson's trying to tell us, because that's technically what we should go off of. And he's saying it's at the driveway. So why is this? Where's the contradiction here? Dawn, are you trying to tell us that you took her down the dog trail? Is that what you're trying to tell us? Sorry, I digress. I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, I think that's what he's trying to tell us. They're both in tune with this. And don't get it twisted. This is not a confession or anything. They lie all the time. But there is truth in everything that they say. Little bits. The devil's
Absolutely.
in the details.
Absolutely.
And you're saying that there was a scent that went this direction.
Okay, so right there, this would be the dog trail. Here's the door. All right. He's saying that somebody grabbed her or carried her out of the basement door. They go straight to the dog trail that he didn't know about. Candice has never said anything about it. They go down it, and that there happens to be somebody waiting at the bottom.
And conveniently, somebody must know that Candice is, AKA, working on Grandma's knee brace. So they know exactly where Candice is located at the camper, to where they would just be right outside of their vision if they run out the back door and go down the dog trail.
It's almost as if the abductor was right there.
It's almost as if the abductor knows exactly what was going on at every single time, every single second of this whole stupid story. God.
Or this really could be the story, but they are deflecting that this is what the abductor did, but it's actually these two idiots.
Oh, listen. Yeah. The story is stupid in that that they throw the word abductor out there, not themselves. So
Yes, all the way down to Ben Hill Road.
All the way where?
All the way down to Ben Hill Road.
Okay. Now, if this looks like a big circle, how do you get back to the highway?
So you go down the driveway to Ben Hill Road.
So why is he bringing up the driveway if the abductor went down the dog trail? You see why I'm seeing opposite day? If Dawn says the abductor met her outside of the basement door and took her down the dog trail, Lawson says the dog's got her scent going down the driveway, doesn't mention the dog trail. And now Dawn says, oh, what you would do is go down the driveway. We're not talking about a driveway, Dawn. We're talking about the dog trail. You're saying that's how this happened.
exactly. Exactly. And again, Dawn, how do you know, Dawn? Because Dawn, you weren't there. You were at work. So how do you know?
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
All right, let's listen to that again. Hang on one second. So he's asking specifics. Dr. Phil is. Dawn is, he's got that hard on for the dog trail, okay? But then he brings up the damn driveway.
And you're saying that there was a scent that went this direction.
Yes, all the way down to Ben Hill Road.
All the way where?
All the way down to Ben Hill Road.
Okay. Now, if this looks like a big circle, how do you get back to the highway?
So you go down the driveway to Ben.
You wouldn't need to go down the driveway, Dawn, if you were using and accessing the dog trail. You would go down the dog trail to the road. Why would you need the damn driveway?
Yeah, and I don't know if he just doesn't know how to explain his own abduction theory, but I mean, I can't make sense of it either because it's almost like it's just all is one. You know what I mean? It's so confusing to me. I can't understand it. But I think that's part of his plan is to continue the confusion. But he does know a lot about where they're going, and yeah, I know that he knows the scents and all that stuff. But you know, if Lawson's telling us it's down the driveway and at the road, that he's telling us is at the dog trail, is it because he knows for a fact he took her down the friggin' dog trail? Bingo. Yeah, whatever.
Yep. Yep.
Ben Hill Road and then turn left. It takes you up to Beach Creek area.
He didn't ask how to get to Beach Creek. He's asking how you get off the damn property. Is that the way Dawn went that day?
Exactly. I'm telling you. I feel like this is it. This is it right here.
Then turn left and it takes you out to the Beach Creek area where, by the way, isn't that where you've been searching? No, he's asking how you get off the property. Hell, he's giving a whole tour. Listen to it again.
Circle. How do you get back to the highway?
So you go down the driveway to Ben Hill Road and then turn left. It takes you up to Beach Creek area.
Okay, so for someone to drive away, they would have had to come on around the circle and exit here.
That's a possibility, but we think they were parked down on the Ben Hill Road.
Okay, so you think they would have walked on down through the woods to the road
That was
and left the car down at the road?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Who is we? First of all, who's we? Who thinks that? And Dawn, do you know that? I mean, because again, Lawson says the end of the driveway. And you're taking us all the way back to the dog trail with the car on Ben Hill Road. So for somebody that wasn't there or not involved or any of that stuff, he certainly knows exactly where the car supposedly was parked. I am, and please, I want to say this. This is my opinion, so nobody takes this for, God don't thrash me out on YouTube land. I'm just
No,
my
everyone
opinion.
has an opinion. That's it.
Yep. But it's really frustrating and sickening to sit here and watch this. And we heard out of law enforcement's mouth, the little we have heard is it stopped at the end of the driveway. Well, we're not talking about a driveway. He's talking about a dog trail. And he's talking about the car being left at the end of the dog trail.
But it's opposite day. It's opposite day. He can't say that he was at the bottom of the driveway or whoever, and Candice walked her down the driveway. They have to say the dog trail they never knew about. Funny, he never mentions when he found out about the dog trail. Equisarge and Lawson said the scent was in the driveway.
Yes. Yes. But he goes back to the dog trail that he didn't know about, that the kids rode. And before he said he didn't know about the dog trail, he admitted that the kids rode dirt bikes up and down it. I mean, he admitted that his own self. And then turns around in another interview and says, oh, well, I didn't even know it was the dog trail was there. What? Yeah. Okay.
So who took her down the driveway to the car waiting at the bottom of the driveway? So again, it's opposite day. It's not the dog trail, but he's going to help us with this in the next clip too. It's going to be even more obvious. Then he mentions the driveway. Dawn.
And that's what the dogs indicated. The scent went down to the road, and then somewhere on that road, the scent disappeared.
But how would they have known she was going to be there? Would they have gone inside the room to get her?
Possibility.
I can't have enough of this. How would they have known that she was going to be there?
And there's a lot of this that I didn't like from the Dr. Phil show. I'm just going to say that. But he says, well, how will they know she was going to be inside that room? I mean, that's the obvious $3,000 million question, whatever dollar figure you want to put on it. That's the question, is how did they know she was there in that room? Listen, nobody is going up and down Beach Creek Road like gallivanting and sightseeing. Sorry, that doesn't happen. I live here and I can say that does not happen. So you don't have some random person walking around Beach Creek, of all places that you could choose, and trying to snatch a child. Don't happen, didn't happen.
Mm-mm.
Never.
Nope. So who took her down the driveway? If they're carrying her, at some point she had to have been walking by herself. Candice is adamant she was barefoot. That'd be a good way to get a scent. She had to have walked at some point. Obviously, it's gravelly and stuff like that. I'm skipping ahead. Spank me later. All right. I wish they would show Don's reaction when he asked this, but they won't.
How would they have known she was going to be there? Would they have gone inside the room to get her?
Possibility. I wasn't even aware the trail was there.
He asked, how would they have known she was going to be there? Would they have gone in the room to get her? He says, possibility. He doesn't answer what he was asked. Then he goes,
nope.
I wasn't even aware the trail was there. He's clearing himself. I wasn't aware the trail was there. That's not what you were asked, dumbass.
Exactly. You can't continue to talk about one certain piece that he's not even asking you about. So you keep focusing on that. There's a reason why you're so super focused on that. There's a reason why. Because you know exactly what happened. Exactly.
He asked you a very important question. How would they have known? You're from the area. You said it's not a busy road. People aren't just wandering around out there.
No, absolutely not. They're not going sightseeing down through there either and just taking a Sunday stroll. It's not happening. It is not happening.
So you're asked a really important question. How would they have known she's there? Would they have taken her out of the room? So he trips him up. Oh, it's a possibility. Okay. And taken her down the driveway to a car. And then you make a left and you're in the Beach Creek community, right? Isn't that what you said, Don? I wasn't even aware the dog trail was there.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
Yes.
Look at his face.
Guilt written all over it. My opinion.
His eyes are bugging out. Don sometimes has like squinty eyes.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes are bugging out. He didn't like that question.
Mm-mm.
You know what a narcissist Don is. He does not like this question. How did
No,
they
and
was there?
he doesn't like being questioned at all. And you can tell when the heat's on, you can see his blood pressure has went sky high. Look how red his face is. Tells you all you need to know.
My blood pressure's sky high, Don.
Mine is too.
You pissed me off today.
Me too.
Okay. So your belief is this might be the last spot that Summer was on the property.
Yes, sir.
Right there. That
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
she was put in a vehicle there and driven away.
Oh,
Okay, you got to watch this nod real quick. I'm gonna slow it down. Actually,
I was going to ask you if you mind to play that again slower. Thank you.
This might be the last spot that Summer was on the property.
yes, sir.
Right there. That she was put in a vehicle there and driven away.
Yep.
his eyes cut back to the left, and he goes, "Yep."
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out where that location is, though.
Well, you can write a letter to the Hawkins County where they're holding Don and ask him.
Well, because that specific spot where he says this is the last known location on that property, where was that?
At the bottom of the dog trail.
That's where that supposedly is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is
We're going to do it slower. Might be too slow. But you have to watch when he goes, "Yep," and his eyes cut.
this might be the last spot that Summer was on the property.
Yes, sir.
Right there. That she was put in a vehicle there and driven away.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I swear that looked like part of their driveway. Because the road there was gravel, was it not?
Let me look at a picture of the road real quick. The road's not gravel, but the driveway
No.
is.
Right. And that's what I'm curious about, because if he says that's where the location is, well, that means it was on the driveway, not the road. And not on the dog trail, because the dog trail goes straight to the road.
And that's what he's selling. That's what he's selling. Because he's scared shitless because her scent's on the driveway. But he's saying no, somebody was carrying her down the dog trail. But
Right.
then Dr. Phil is really honing in on that. He talks about the damn driveway. So now here Don's going to explain in his own words for us. What happened that day? I'll back this up just a little bit.
Side here and always find it open a lot of times and stuff.
To abduct his daughter and then disappear without a trace.
Our Erica Lunsford walked that trail with Don Wells and sat face to face with Sheriff Ronnie Lawson in a WVLT exclusive interview.
Now 114 days after the little girl was reported missing. Erica, you've learned a lot. Tell us more.
That's right. Summer's father tells me he believes the trouble started at the basement door, a door he says her brothers often left unlocked and wide open.
And we'd get on them a lot, and so you can't do.
See, now here we go again. Her brothers often left unlocked and unopened. You can leave all your doors and windows open. What's the probability of somebody knowing when you're home and coming straight in to grab your daughter and going down a dog trail with a car waiting at the bottom?
Absolutely.
Seems like old Don's telling us what happened that day, but it's not the dog trail.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, but it just, we'd always find it open a lot of times and stuff. And so we tried to control that bit to know, they couldn't control it 100% of the time.
Dawn Wells tells me Summer was last seen going to the basement to play with her toys. Her 3 older brothers upstairs, her mother and grandmother in the yard facing away from the basement door, and Dawn Wells at work.
We don't know if someone.
And Dawn Wells at work. And Dawn Wells at work that doesn't know about the dog trail.
Oh, God.
And Dawn Wells at work, America's best drywaller, hitting it hard, bringing home that bacon. And
Mm-hmm.
When we was waiting in the basement, or she come outside here and went to the swing. And all we know is she went down the basement.
Wells says
all we know is she went down in the basement. All we know is she went down in the basement. Why is that? Why is that such an absolute? All we know is she went down in that basement. Because she told her brother she was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's concrete proof. Or because your rage queen, abusive wife took her down there.
Exactly. That's the only way you would know that's where she was, because all you knew is that she was outside at her swing, that she had, ran around the house. Sorry. No. You know that because that's what you did.
Uh-huh. And our friend Justice for All is in here. It says waiting at the bottom. All 2 minutes. Nope.
Yep.
Nope. And havoc like this in 2 minutes, somebody would see or hear unless it was Batman. So he just says right there, that's important. All we know is she was in that basement. Who is we? Boyfriend, you were at work.
he believes someone was lurking at the top of the dog trail, just feet away from the basement door. He says the predator somehow managed to snatch Summer, then raced down the steep hill as she struggled.
I guess you guys want to walk around through here.
As she struggled.
Yeah, Dawn, how do you know she was struggling? That seems like a very odd statement for somebody who was at work and not involved, Dawn.
Yeah, you were neck deep in spackle. How do you know?
Struggling. Just struggling. Was she, Dawn? How hard was she fighting, Dawn? Ugh, I can't.
It's not dog trail, Dawn. It's the driveway. Dogs don't lie. That was where her scent went. I believe he on the car, Dawn. I believe there was a car at the bottom of the driveway or someone somewhere in that area. Probably not like right at the very bottom.
Yeah.
The trail was not an easy walk. To get down the rugged hill, Wells and I had to hold on to trees. I struggled not to trip or even fall on tree roots.
I need to slide a little bit.
So the dogs kind of came down this trail here.
Yeah.
It's pretty steep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's explaining his own theory. He's got to get everything away from the driveway because that's where the dogs got her scent. Muscles, you turned your camera on.
I know. I'm sitting here with my head on my hand. I can't. I can't.
How many times can he say we?
Yeah. Yeah. And they. We and they. We and they.
Who's we? You and your
Yeah.
bucket of spackle? Who's
Yeah.
we?
Yeah. I think when he says we, that's when he's actually telling us the truth.
Well, he had that Freudian slip on Brian Enton's show when he goes, we could not have been, maybe we weren't paying good enough attention.
Mm-hmm.
But he's at, what we know is that she was in that basement.
Yep.
Because remember, on June 15th, she didn't like the outdoors anymore. And she wasn't the boss of the boys anymore.
That's right.
She wanted
He's
to
defined who we is.
herself with her toys upstairs outside.
I didn't know the
Correct.
dogs even had a trail down through here till the police dogs followed it all the way to the road.
Wells says he overheard authorities say search dogs followed Summer's scent down the trail to the road before losing it. He painted a vivid picture of a kidnapping, telling me a neighbor likely heard Summer scream.
I think whoever grabbed her probably had her mouth covered, and I think she was gasping for air by the time.
Okay.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
When Jody Sue came out and talked about this scream, he was the first one to say, that's a bunch of bullshit. Now it fits his dog trail theory, even though something picked up, I say something, the dogs picked up her scent in the driveway, okay? Now he needs it because this could only happen with the dog trail. He knew that dog trail was there. He knew it was there. Go ahead. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
That when he spoke about this right here and says that she was gasping for air, may have been gasping for air, I go back to Candice's statement when she said it smothers me, and I'm like, y'all, I can't even deal with those two comments that are made. It literally makes me want to puke. Literally.
He's describing something, and this is not something that a parent could imagine.
A neighbor likely heard Summer scream.
I think whoever grabbed her probably had her mouth covered, and I think she was gasping for air by the time she got down through here somewhere, because our neighbor heard a scream, a really funny scream. I think they just carried her to a vehicle and threw her in there and took her somewhere far away from here.
Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson.
Somewhere far away from here, yet he's on Dr. Phil. You go up there, you make a left, you're at Beach Creek.
Brooks, this was the comment I was talking to you about this morning. I couldn't remember where it was from. Threw her in a car.
Threw her in a car. It's from Dawn.
That was the video, and I couldn't remember where it was at, but this was it.
Yeah.
We're twins.
I'm working out. Just like you.
That's right.
Lawson has not publicly commented on specifics of the case until now.
I love when Lawson is like the Kool-Aid man and sets them straight. I do. Whatever you guys think about Lawson, good, bad, indifferent. Just like the whole thing, with Grandis. No, they're not cooperating. She comes out, she gives an interview, which shows us she's not cooperating. So he's got to set old Don straight on this, because we got Dr. Phil where he's talking about the dog trail, the dogs, and now we're doing this.
I asked Sheriff Lawson about Wells' claims. Did dogs follow Summer's scent down the trail to the main road? The sheriff says yes.
The dogs had a pretty good trail, a track for a little while, but then it disappeared, but they lost scent it when they come to the road. And sometimes canines, they will lose the scent when it changes different type, whether it maybe went from the gravel to the pavement.
And did a neighbor hear a scream?
Best I recall, it's been a couple months ago, I think it was unfounded.
Wells tells me the family home.
I will never understand when they say that's unfounded. That's unfounded. So, okay, there's definitely her scent. We have the driveway. He's actually saying there was a scent on the dog trail. So I'm back to this. Is Don telling on himself?
Yeah. Gosh. I do think so. I swear I do. I swear I do.
On Ben Hill Road is surrounded by drug dealers and buyers.
You get all kinds, with the drug trade, and we've seen quite a bit of stuff surrounding the meth thing. We parked in our neighbors caught them parked at our road.
What neighbors? What neighbors caught these meth heads parked on the road? What neighbors?
Yeah, and how do you know they're meth heads? I mean, how's that an assumption that you go right off the bat on? I mean, I don't understand that.
Because he watched a YouTube video trying to figure out Dudley, supposedly. Yeah. Yeah. What neighbors? By now, we know the whole community. We know everybody that lives on that road, Dawn. Who?
Yeah.
Meth heads don't want a kid to keep up with. So go sell that shit somewhere else.
The driveway in the middle of the night, early in the morning, and run them off, and they get mad, and they raise Cain.
Yeah, because meth heads want to hang around on your road, and they get mad and they raise Cain. No, they don't want to go back home and do more meth. Get real, Dawn.
Yeah, or go somewhere else that there's hundreds of thousands of other acres to go if they want to do it at your driveway. Really? Well, don't that say enough?
Yeah. What do they think? That's Burning Man or something?
We've had quite a bit of problems.
But Sheriff Lawson tells me Wells lives on a quiet street.
I've heard rumors of, there is maybe a drug dealer on that road, but it's just like anywhere. Ben Hill Road is no different than any other roads in Hawkins, Sullivan, or any other county, as far as even Knox County. We all have drug problems, but no, that's not that problem. That's not correct either.
It's not like a hot spot.
No, it's not a hot spot, and it's a dead end road, so there's very little traffic, if any.
Don Wells says he.
So if your whole idea is to abduct a child, a dead end road, you just happen to know she's home, you just happen to know she's in a basement, when he basically said, we know she was in the basement. Again, he's at work. We know she was in that basement because Candice took her to that basement.
Exactly. Again, we know who we is now.
Candice took her to that basement.
He doesn't know why anyone would take his daughter, but isn't shocked by the disappearance of a child.
There's a lot of missing children.
But Sheriff Lawson says children don't just go missing, especially in Hawkins County.
No, ma'am, we don't have any other missing children.
At Summers Hilltop.
Candice tried that shit with Chris McDonough too. She's like, it happens every day, everywhere in the world. And McDonough's like, what are the statistics? And she was 50-50. Wasn't 50-50 at your house on June 15th, Candice?
Yeah.
Home. Wells showed me a refrigerator, he says. Summer played on.
I don't know what else she did. What in the world is that?
And
he's beating the hell out of the refrigerator. I don't know what she did. I'm kind of going back to, we're talking about Candice, not Summer. And he's beating the hell out of it. I want to know what she did. Well, Candice, what did you do?
Yeah, exactly.
We walked to Summer's swing. This is her favorite.
That's her favorite. Yeah, she liked to twirl.
Don Wells is pleading for his daughter's return.
Whoever has her will have mercy, and please let her come home.
Sheriff Lawson says investigators remain committed to finding Summer.
Everyone in Summer's case is still a suspect.
Everyone in Summer's case is still a suspect.
Listen, and that the news reporter said Don is pleading for his daughter's return. He doesn't even look at the camera. He doesn't address anybody to be pleading to the camera. He wasn't pleading. He was making a statement. And he wasn't looking at the camera because he can't. End of story. That's the way I feel. That's my personal opinion. Nobody takes it and runs with it. I'm not spreading rumors, blah, 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 blah. My opinion, he didn't even look at the camera. And if you're pleading for your daughter's safe return, you're looking into the camera as if you're looking at the person who may have taken your child. And you're pleading, bring her back to us. Please bring her back home safely. Please bring my daughter Summer back home safely. You can't even look at the camera and say that. So you're not pleading nothing but your own friggin' case of abduction, and that's the end of the story.
And that's why I said the abduction theory screwed them badly, because their story puts them right in it. Then we hear the end of this where Lawson says everyone is a suspect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was a lot to take in for today, even though it's old information, but we go back over it because the devil's in the details. And when they speak for themselves about what happened that day, it's in there somewhere. Her absolute, she came in, no Summer. Summer checked in with their brothers, but Summer's the boss of the brothers, remember?
Yeah.
Summer loves to play outside. That day, she wanted to play by herself with no toys in a dungeon. We know she was in the basement. What brought this on? Was it something that happened at the horse pond? Does that go into why Candice felt the need to make a special trip with a missing daughter less than 48 hours to Hunter's house to intimidate him, to ask him, because he's the only one that was asked, what did you say to TBI?
Give me a second, Brooks.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just need 1 minute.
Jules says, he doesn't say, whoever has my daughter, please return her home. No, show mercy. Show mercy. Show mercy. This abduction theory screwed them badly. When we saw the Dr. Phil clip and you see the vantage point from the basement door, let's say she got put down there. She was in trouble. Candice got onto her. She takes her down there. And she gets out the door. She goes running off in the woods. That could happen. But he's saying no way. Did she just happen to walk outside and there just happened to be someone standing there? When Dr. Phil said, did they go in and take her? He wouldn't answer that question. He tells us he didn't know the dog trail was there.
Well, and I go back to the Hunter thing, and I'm sorry, I just got a little emotional.
No.
I go back to the Hunter situation where, we heard from people, and whether or not any of that stuff is true either, because who knows, but go back to that the kid has changed. So like his whole demeanor changed. There was all this different stuff saying that Hunter was just different when he came back. Why? So if he was there with him at the horse stables, then does he know that something happened there? And he had to, he was trying to figure out how to deal with that himself during that. I don't know. But if he's not the same, then he knows something. And then, of course, yes, there's a reason why Candice went back to him 48 hours later after meeting with TBI, and they were told not to speak. There's a reason, and it's not because of alcohol or not because of the vape pens. It's just not, because in the grand scheme of that, law enforcement can care two shifts less about that, and because they've got bigger fish to fry right now with the child missing. So they could give two shifts about that. And everybody wants to know why they weren't arrested, why she wasn't arrested for that. Well, do we really want the clock to tick for that? I don't want that to be what they put her in for. Could they? Yeah, sure. I'm sure they could do something. But I want them to put her, when she is looking behind bars, I want it to be for a long period of time, like it deserves to be. And not because of some, yeah, it was wrong to give that child that. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I don't want that being the reason why she's locked up either. because it won't stick.
Exactly. And then we go back to what was said in the McDonough interview when Hunter said she owed me a vape pen. Well, why that day did you decide to come make good on your word that day?
Yeah.
Why that day? Why that day did Summer get taken down to the dungeon? Why are we saying that she told the boys she was going down there willingly? I have a feeling the boys have not said that's what happened. Hence why everyone's still a suspect. If those 3 boys could verify the story we've been told, we wouldn't be here. Everyone still wouldn't be a suspect.
No, that's so true. I don't even know what else to say at the moment, Brooks. I'm just, shoo.
Nope, me either. And on that note, I'm going to start closing it up because we actually are going to have part 2 of this. There's actually more.
Yes.
Of them telling on themselves. You going to be here for it, girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'll text you after this, okay?
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, shoot. I hit the remove button too fast, and she was telling everyone thanks. Big round of applause for our friends Muscles and Mascara. Big round of applause. Justice for all. Thank you for being here in chat today. There's a lot of stuff to go through, guys. There's way more in front of us than I think that we even realize. There really is. A lot of stuff that we thought wasn't a big deal is sticking out like a sore thumb right now. Let's all hang together. Let's keep Summer's name out there. I know I've caught some hell recently about, oh, you're just going to milk this dry. Well, I call it opposite day. You know what I mean? Let's just call it opposite day. We're not milking anything dry. There is a lot of stuff to go through. And as long as Dawn and Candice want us to forget about her daughter, guess what we will do? We will still talk about the disappearance of Summer Wells. You guys are the best chat, the best community on YouTube. I will see you guys over in Discord in a little bit. If not, I'll catch you on the Facebook page. And if not, I'll see you back here tonight at 5 o'clock and then again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You guys are the best. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye.